So now let's come to the third franchise, Royal Challengers Bangalore. So every season they hope that this is their year, this is their year. And last time they performed well under Mike Hesson and they qualified for the playoffs, but they couldn't go all the way. So they invested in Aaron Finch, that didn't work out. This season, uh, they have invested in some BBL stars, Dan Christian, Daniel Sams, Kane Richardson, and then they have invested in two New Zealand players, Kyle Jamieson and Finn Allen. So both are exciting talent to see. So do you see that this season the squad looks somewhat better than last season, or is it the other way around?
You forgot to mention Maxwell.
Right. My apologies.
No, you don't have to apologize. It's that sort of an season for Maxi also. But yes, RCB always is a team I'm pretty excited myself about because my one of my favorite players of the last decade plays for them. That's Virat. I'm a big Virat fan. So Virat Kohli this time. So, but where I see them lacking is that the balance. The team always they. So we spoke about MI at the beginning. The reason why MI is so good is because the balance that they bring to the team. The overseas contingent complements their Indian contingent. And RCB first picks the players and then they try to match about how do we plug the holes with what we have. Yeah, it's an approach that can work, but a franchise like RCB, which has been building a team, the last mega auction, I don't know, was few years back when that entire fiasco about CSK and RR happened, and that was the last big. So after that, every team has actually built a strong core, and RCB is one team that's fair, and that's one of the reasons why it reflects in their points table as well every year. And so if you look at their overseas buys, they have some smart buys. So I'm excited about Daniel Sams and forget the big money buys. That's I don't know. That's market driven or whichever it is. But I am excited about Sam's Dan Christian. Two buys I believe are going to be. They will play an important role this year.
Right. And so far we have seen in RCB setup, they didn't have that kind of Indian batsman who can who can give Virat some kind of confidence that yes, this guy can play. So this time they have Devdutt Padikkal, who had amazing domestic season. He had a great IPL last season also. Plus they have added some exciting talent in Rajat Patidar, Suyash Prabhu Desai. So do you think, and Mohammad Azruddin? So do you think, so one of them will definitely play in the playing 11 because they have one Indian player spot. So do you think that this time their Indian batting looks good?
Devdutt Padikkal is definitely an emerging star, and right, I know you will ask this question later on, but I think he's an emerging player to watch out this season. He had an amazing domestic season, and even if he can continue 60% of that, transform 60% of that into IPL, they will be the team to beat this year. And you have deep, and out of the other three, all three are untested: Rajat, Suyash, and Azharuddin Azhar. So in my opinion, they might start with Azhar because they will start with Azhar because only because he comes with that background that he's an explosive batsman, an aggressive batsman, and he's also, I think, a wicket keeper for Kerala. So nor maybe because of that, they might start if they want ABD to, I mean, relax behind the wickets a bit. They might go with that. But yes, explore some good names there. And even if one of those three clicks, even whomsoever starts, I want one of them to click. Pretty exciting for all three of them.
Right. So, but when we see when we talk about their weaknesses, so previously their bowling has to be their weakness, but this season they have added so many bowling options. But still, if we look at their bowling, especially Indian pacers, so apart from Mohammad Siraj and Navdeep Sani, they don't have a third name in Indian pacers. So do you see
Yeah.
that as a weakness?
Oh, so thankfully for them, they are not playing any games in Bangalore this year. So, but they will be playing in Bombay, where do you need pacers? I mean, you have the pitches that have bounce, but I think that is where their combination is going to be more important than anything else. And this time, if you look at right from number 5 all the way to number 11, they can potentially pick a team which can contribute 2 overs each. And so it is that combination, I think, more than the Indian pacing contingent. So this is where they have probably added a little bit of more flexibility this year. So where number 5 to, if Maxi comes at number 5, then all the way from number 5 to number 11, everybody can bowl, including Maxi. And that is where they need to plan their overseas contingent. And even that means under bowling Siraj or Saini, depending upon, they don't have to bowl their contingent of 8 overs. So if they are smart and if they play to the conditions and the opposition, I think they can put up a pretty strong team. There is still only other weakness I still see is in their number 3 position. And if their number 3 is still unplugged, and I that's where I have a few thoughts, and I think that's where their biggest challenge. But apart from that, I believe every other position they have a good backup.
Yes, yes. But if you see that, uh, when we see the death bowling, so who will be the two death bowlers? So do you see a concern there? Because Siraj
Yeah,
and Saini, they have not been so consistent in the death bowling. And Daniel Sams, he's also a new ball bowler mainly. Kyle Jamison is also a new ball bowler. So so do you see there is a concern in the death bowling unit?
absolutely. And I don't think they have that luxury of keeping anybody for the death for. So, like Bumrah can have 3 overs at the back end, or Malinga used to do that. I don't think they have any such bowlers who can have extended bowling at the end. So they might go for maybe 1 or 2 overs max at the death, and that's how they will be managing it. But Sams can still perform the death bowling option. But if Sams plays, for me, he will play one of Kyle Jamison or Sams can play. So then both cannot play. So I want to start them with Sams, and yeah, even though Kyle was more expensive, but Sams can give them option, and Seni definitely can bowl it for death, but they have to go with what they have, and that's an area of concern. Definitely, the death bowling and number 3.
Right, right. And recently, we have seen that Yuzvendra Chahal didn't get that much opportunity in T20 games and one day series. So they were trying they tried Rahul Chahar in Yuzvendra Chahal's place. And then in the one day series, also, he didn't get to play so many games. So do you think Yuzvendra Chahal has great point to prove? He has now the opportunity because he's not playing the IPL games in Chinnaswamy anymore. He's playing the games in Chennai where the ball will turn, and this season he will be one of the key players for RCB.
Absolutely, and they will bank on him and Washington Sundar a lot this year, especially Yuzi Chahal, because if Yuzi controls, he's their enforcer in the middle order, and both he's a strike bowler as well as he has performed both the roles of containing and taking wickets as well, and not licking runs. So there are very few people who can take Yuzi apart, and so that is his advantage that not everybody can easily pick him out. There are few people who can, but he will have a good tournament, and he is a very thinking, clever, very clever bowler. So yes, he has a lot to prove for himself because people are already talking about Chehar in the Indian squad, and the competition between him and Chehar is going to be interesting. The way shapes up, they have a big tournament coming up after IPL. So yes, UZ I think has everything to prove.
Right. So, but we have one interesting match for RCB in their first three fixtures, and in that they have to face Sunrisers Hyderabad. And the way Roy and Barristow have played Chahal in the recent season, do you think that that will haunt Virat Kohli and he will be tempted to go with Adam Zampa in that match?
I think Zampa is joining a little late, right? So he might miss the first couple of games.
No,
Uh,
I think he will miss the first game. From the second game onwards, he's available, and this is the second match of RCB.
yeah. So I don't know whether they will force. Zampa is a good. I like Zampa. He has an fast bowler's heart for a leg spinner. So I like Zampa, and but I don't see for the first two games I don't see him starting. So for the first two three games, he will come probably. But yes, he will have a good combination along with Yuzi. Both Yuzi and Zampa actually can play in the same game. Though both are leg spinners, they are very different. So yes, Zampa can be a very interesting addition in the later parts of the tournament.
So now, so in RCB, so they have so many bowling options. So and we don't know who will bowl how many overs. So it will be interesting to see who will be their purple cap contender.
It will be, I mean, their purple cap. I'll go with Yuzi because I see him is he's the only bowler who's going to bowl his quota of overs every single game, and he has proven to be a wicket taker as well. So for I'll go with Yuzi.
Right. And Virat Kohli said that he will open this year in this year's IPL. So do you think that this time also he'll get the orange cap?
The last time he opened, he had a phenomenal season, but he had Gale and ABD to back him up, and KL also actually. So I still wonder why RCB let him go. But this season, he by opening the batting, all he's doing is that instead of coming at 10 for 1, he's going to start it at the beginning itself. So it's
Right.
a good move and a good move, but he, okay. First question, orange cap. Yes, he is definitely going to be a contender for orange cap. Absolutely.
Right. And then let's talk about their emerging players. So yes, you mentioned David Particle in the beginning, but do you see that yes, Josh Phillippe got couple of games in the last season. So do you think Finn Allen will also get couple of games this season?
He has to. He has to. And depending upon how Maxi's fortunes go this year, or how their number three equation pans out, at some point in time, I believe Finn Allen should get a look in. He's explosive. The only thing you get with Finn Allen is that he explodes or he gets out. So there's no, but if he plays four games and if he can win you two games, that's it. That's all you need from him. So I want to watch him, and I believe he will get a shout in. He will eventually play one or two games, replacing either Dan Christian. They might adjust their bowling combination accordingly, and or Maxi as well, depending upon how Maxi performs. But yes, Finn Allen is an exciting talent. But if Maxi fails, and if the that means by then we're already talking about RCB only trying to squeak in into the playoffs. So they already have lost it. But yes, Finn Allen is a very exciting talent.
Right. And your MVP this season, will you put your bets on Glenn Maxwell?
I was leaning towards Dan Christian for an MVP. He has uh, he has proven not just in IPL but in every 2020 league he has played world over. He has proved to be very effective. The stats may not show that. What stats will not show is his contribution, like coming at number six and number seven, finishing games and bowling those two three overs, taking that one crucial wicket every now and then is something that he has done time and again. So he's going to be, if even if he's not an MVP, he has a very big role to play this season. In I hope he gets picked. But MVP has to be. if they have to win every single game or go to playoffs, then it has to be between the two of them, the two biggies. Between it has to be Virat, it has to be ABD. If they fail, look, the pressure that you are putting on the lower order, the middle order, is immense. If imagine if Virat and David Padikkal go in the score with 30 for 2, or if Virat and ABD are out, there's no way you can have it. I don't see this team chasing 200 odd targets without Virat and ABD.
Right. And I think that's again a biggest concern for RCB, that once again they are over reliant on Virat Kohli and ABD Villiers.
Absolutely. And Maxi, we don't know. Every year we keep talking about Maxi of 2014-15 will be back. But it's been 6 years and he has not performed again. Everybody knows us. He had a very bad IPL. He goes to Australia and he kills India. So he plays a game. So every time this happens, he plays very well for his country, and even within for Australia, whenever the chips are down, he performs. When his place gets questioned, he performs. So I hope this year he proves something back, and I I don't know. I won't have him as my MVP yet.
Okay, okay. And your prediction for RCB on the points table? Do you see them qualifying?
Tough. Unless Virat and if Virat has an amazing year, then they will qualify. If Virat doesn't, then there is no way. Even if just on ABD's background, they will not be able to qualify. Virat needs to have a big year this year. If Virat doesn't, no.
Cool, cool.